We have a new type of competition. And I think this started on June 16, 2017. Do you know what happened on June 16, 2017? Who knows? No one? Not even Patrick? This will be a big hint. This is the day that we had the acquisition of Whole Foods by Amazon for, let's say, $13 billion. I think this is one of the biggest moves of this year. This is changing everything because this is the first time that a technology player is actually buying its field into the physical world. This was the impact on the stock market. These are the stock evolutions that day of the big competitors of Whole Foods. Ahold Delhaize, Kroger, Target, Walmart. They all lost between 5 and 15% that day. At the same time, the Amazon stock went up with $32, which created an additional virtual value of $15 billion. That was a pretty interesting day for Jeff Bezos. Spending $13 billion, making $15 billion. That was June 16, right? Then we have August 28. August 28 was the first day that Amazon became the owner of Whole Foods. This is what they did on day one. Let's cut the prices up to 43% in the food industry. 30 to 43% on as many products as possible. This is like dropping a nuclear bomb in this market. This is how the stock market reacted. This is Kroger, like the Colruyt of the US. Bam, bam. Our good friends from Ahold Delhaize. Bam, bam. They lost 30% of their value in 3 months' time. And they didn't do anything wrong. Or maybe we should say they didn't do anything. Because, with all respect, but those food companies in retail all thought we're safe. Because those technology players are not capable of dealing with food. Well, that changed on June 16. I have a footage here of what competition looked like in that market before June 16. This is Colruyt and Delhaize here. Colruyt, Delhaize. Okay, we're going to steal some market share from you. Oh no, we're going to be stronger. Okay, we'll do a 2+1 promotion. All right, we'll do the wines 5+1. Look what will happen to our market share. Here we go. Oh, we will add some discounts. This video goes on for 12 minutes. If you want to see everything, I can send you the link. But this was competition in this field before June 16. This was June 16. Now, we were in New York a few weeks ago, and we had the pleasure of listening to Amazon and to Whole Foods. We went to Whole Foods, and this was amazing. This was about 6 weeks after the acquisition. And always when there are acquisitions, you hear like how difficult it is to integrate everything. Well, it took them 1 month to Amazonize that whole company. It was Amazon all over the place. It was impressive to see how it grew. And you can think, thank God I'm not in that industry. This is the research that we saw there, that now in the US, 87% of all consumers compare every company with Amazon. And probably the most impressive part was the whole story about 365. And 365 is like the private label of Whole Foods. It took them 1 month to integrate all of those products on Amazon. You can buy every single one on it. You can buy it through Amazon Alexa, through voice. Now they have a few stores, 365 stores. And the rumor goes that this could be the start of a rollout of 365 stores that become a global network of Amazon stores linked to their site. And this is a new form of competition. This is a battlefield. And I took the retail, food retail as an experiment, but imagine that they move one of those players in other markets. And this is the devil's dilemma for all companies. What do we need to do? Do we need to work together with those big platforms? Or do we need to build our own brand? Some say, yeah, let's not work with Facebook, we will make them bigger. Yeah, but they won't go out of business if you won't work with them, but the other way around, it may be more difficult. There's no choice. You have to do both. You have to do both. On the one hand, there's no way to go around those big tech platforms. I mean, we can complain about it, we can have philosophical debates about it, but the truth is people trust them. Very simple, because they always work. They keep their promises. And now you read a lot of, columns and journalists and politicians that say, yeah, it's very bad and they're the big bad wolf. I look at the market. If you ask people which brands that they cannot miss in their lives, the top 3 is Amazon, Google, Facebook. So we can complain about it as much as we want, but the customer made a choice. If you ask people, would you go to Amazon if they were a bank? 40 to 50% said, yeah, of course. These guys are magnets. They're magnets. They're attracting as many people as possible, and they have one goal in life, that's to push all other brands to a lower level. Talked about the iPhone 10. During that event, we also had the launch of the Apple Watch 3. There was not too much media attention to it, but this is the first device where there's a SIM card integrated in it. Now imagine that in the next phone you would have an integrated SIM card in that phone. Guess what that would do with the brand power of telcos? Because then I would have an app, okay, I'm sick and tired of Proximus, but I have Telenet. If you go abroad, you want to use the local T-Mobile, you push a button and pat, you have it. And Apple just jumps in between the customer and the telco. And the telco is being pushed more and more to become a dumb pipe. The moment when you start to order through voice and say, Amazon or Google, I need new toothpaste, I need new cat food, all those brands that are in routine buying, it's becoming more difficult. This is what they said at Google. We actively manage as many people as possible to voice. It's becoming cheaper, it's becoming more performant. It's because they want to create this. The tech platforms, A-level, and all the rest. And I think one of the crucial questions in this marketing and customers in the day after tomorrow is, how do you fight on that B level? How do you create, you know, a brand that is still valuable in a world where you have those big digital commodity magnets? And I think this is probably the biggest challenge. And probably there's no other way than to create the same convenience levels as those big players, because that is what the market is used to. If you don't do that, it's becoming really hard. And I really believe that big companies can do that. I want to show you this example of a traditional company, Shell. They are looking into ways to make sure if you need gas, that it's fully automated, that they recognize your plate, for instance, the plate on your car, and that you just walk out, you get your gas, and you pay automatically just by using your smartphone, that you don't need to do anything else anymore. They are working on models that you just pay them a monthly fee and you can go to the car wash as much as you want, fully automated. You don't have to get out of your car. They recognize the car, you go through it. That's trying to figure out in a traditional business how you can create the convenience levels as the big technology companies. Probably a new skill that all of us will have to learn, and that is very intangible today, but that's doing marketing to machines. There are not many cases about this yet. But if you look to the definition of marketing that I see influencing people's buying behavior, that hasn't changed. I mean, it's still the goal for people in marketing and sales to influence buying behavior. But we have a new target audience. I mean, we are all trained to do marketing to humans, and we should definitely do that and keep on doing that. But we will also have to become experts in marketing to machines, because the machine is part of the audience. If you are in the toothpaste business, you better have a real good approach of doing marketing to these machines, because you are a commodity, you are a recurring buying product, and it will become more and more difficult to do that through traditional advertisement. So for me, marketing in the day after tomorrow is the combination of marketing to humans. Of course, we still need to do that, but add a twist of doing marketing to machines. And something that we shouldn't forget is that many of our companies have strengths that the digital players don't have. How can we leverage those strengths? An interesting case is how Walmart is dealing with this. If you will look at the stock market, Walmart is the only food retailer that recovered from the Amazon Whole Foods thing. But they are leveraging on strengths and using networks. So they instantly went to Google, because they know Google is in battle with Amazon. They said, Google, can you help? Can we get that same Amazon thing, but then on Google Home? Google said, yes, because you're the biggest retailer. If we can do that, we can maybe beat them. And Walmart started to think, how can we change our stores? Well, we have to make sure if people come to pick up their online orders, that it's going extremely fluent and convenient. So they have these huge machines now. You just come in, you scan your device, or you scan your barcode, and 30 seconds later, you have your product. They have things that Amazon doesn't have. One of the things are a zillion stores close to every American you can possibly imagine. So maybe we can make the return process more convenient. I mean, there's a Walmart in a 10-mile radius of every American citizen. It's maybe easier just to drop by, give the product back, return the money, than to do it through Amazon, where you have to deal with all the boxes and everything. But then it has to be in 30 seconds. What else do we have at Walmart? Oh, we have 1.4 million employees. What if we start to use them as packaging, delivering people that can, on their way home, deliver packages to people? That's something that Amazon doesn't have. So they are they going to win with this? I don't know. But I think it's pretty smart to look at your strengths and leverage them. And those strengths are different for everyone, but every company has strengths that those guys don't have. And then it's building the pyramid. It's indeed working on that convenience level, but at the same time, use your strengths. Last thing is about communication. I think we should all have a white piece of paper and look for those channels where we still have an impact on the way that people think about us. What are our trusted channels? For Coolblue, it's definitely YouTube. You all know the story. Peter Zwart wanted to have 20 million views on his YouTube channel, and his team said, Peter, that's impossible. He said, no, I will tell you how. Either you make 4 movies that have 5 million views, or you make 20 million movies that have 1 view. 4 with 5 million is unaffordable and is too risky, so just make enough videos until we have 20 million views. It's not that hard. And that's what they started to do. Pretty boring videos in Dutch on how products work. But today they have close to 50 million views, and people that go look for technology products on YouTube in Dutch, they end up with YouTube, and it has a huge impact on their buying decision. This is a brilliant case study from Kom op tegen kanker. For years, they have tried to convince young people in Belgium not to smoke. And for years, they failed. All traditional top-down communication with big influencers, politicians, sport people didn't work. Now they did it differently. They looked for the vloggers in Belgium, young people, that have some audience, and they invited them and told them what really happens with the body when you're smoking. And then they said, please, if you are interested and motivated, make a video, but don't mention us. Because it's not about us, it's about youngsters stopping to smoke. And they did this, and this was like the first time that they actually had impact on the smoking behavior of young people, by just working with peer-to-peer and keeping out the big Kom op tegen kanker name. They were looking how to build this pyramid. And if we want to fight against those big technology players, I don't see another way out than to use their strengths and add our strengths to it. It's going to be extremely difficult to do this, but there's no other way than to work together with them. But if you don't heavily invest in your own brand to build it, you're becoming a commodity that has no identity anymore in this world, because that's the goal of the technology players.